Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. What's going on here? We have some very interesting developments and statements made by Zelensky and by the Russians regarding to negotiating with Putin. So Zelensky said, I'm ready to negotiate. Oy vey, what changed, baby doll? And the second one, give us nuclear weapons, Zelensky says. Now, if you think that it's okay to give, let's say, Ukraine nuclear weapons, why is it not okay to give Iran, let's say? Interestingly enough, Zelensky can say this, but the Iranians cannot say that. So Zelensky calls for nukes to stop Russia. Nobody will be like, hey, whoa, time out, what's going on? If the Iranians will say, give us nukes to, let's say, stop, let's say, the Jewish state. Oh my God, see, these guys are crazy, as Mick Jagger says. All right, so let's start with the first article coming from Russia Today. Zelensky calls for nukes to stop Russia. Nuclear weapons and missile systems would be the only adequate substitutes to NATO membership, the Ukrainian leader has claimed. Baby doll, your side lost. And now you, as you weren't in the past either, you are not in a position of demand, request, impose, negotiate. You're lost. Your pants are down. You're bent over. That's it. And you can't do anything about it. He's coming for you. So in this case, he's if you don't give us this, you have nothing. But hey, he can say it. Why? He did what he was supposed to do. His side lost. That is, Russia was not destroyed. That was did not win. The winning would be like over there. So they lost. So what are they doing? Again, he plays his chutzpah. I demand. You have nothing. You have no authority. You have no power to do anything. It's like I say, I don't know, United States of America should invade China, and we take over China, and we. Well, yeah, I can yap around how much I want, and I would like to negotiate with Xi Jinping. I can talk like this, but I have zero power to do anything I said. The same with this guy. He can be interviewed and he can talk with Piers Morgan how much he wants, as he did. He has nothing. He's out. Ukrainian leader, because he's Ukrainian. I don't understand this guy, man. These guys, and these are the Russians. I wouldn't call him Ukraine. I would call him the leader of Ukraine, the president of Ukraine, not the Ukrainian president, but that's me because I'm a bad person. Ukrainska Pravda. Ukrainian leader Vladimir Zelensky has proposed the West. He proposed. Fuck, you have nothing, man. You have nothing. That the West should give Kiev nuclear weapons and more missiles, quote unquote, to stop Russia. Or fast track his country into NATO. That means dragging NATO in a war with Russia and using their weapons to fight Russia. So, do you think that if, let's say, let's get the first two scenarios. Ukraine gets in NATO. He thinks that by getting over there, Russia will be afraid to fight NATO because NATO is strong and has nuclear weapons. Obviously, it's about nuclear weapons here. So it's going to be protected. Now, if Zelensky pushes some buttons, he can get easily NATO in a war with Russia. Both nuclear powers. In the European territory. Not in the Middle East, not in Asia, not in South America, No, it's in Europe again. The third one, why? These guys are just crazy, man. They're just crazy. Right, so that's the first scenario. We're going to get them using nukes. And the second one, if I get nukes, this is the logic. If I have nukes as Ukraine, they will not attack me. Well, NATO is fighting Russia, and Russia has nuclear weapons. So that means are futile. So Ukraine having nuclear weapons is futile because the Russians did not use it against NATO yet. So then what do you want them, homie? If it's not a deterrent to have the Russians attack you, how do you call that, with conventional weapons, you don't need them because these guys are fighting Russia and Russia has nuclear weapons. Unless you will use them and you're going to threaten to use them, that's exactly what I think he would do. And the second one, If you can have nukes and the Americans are okay with that, he's not going to have nukes. Just put that aside. It's baboonish. But anyway, if he's allowed to talk, and he's allowed to talk, but he's not smacked over his beak verbally, then why should I care if the Iranians are going to say the same thing? Or let's say, I don't know, other countries in the world, Romania, I want nuclear weapons because I'm afraid of Russia. How about that? Why only the Zelensky Steins are allowed to talk like that? I'm just exaggerating, obviously. So here it is. On Thursday, British journalist Piers Morgan. Now, if you think that Piers Morgan is a journalist, then I don't know, I'm a whatever I am. Published an excerpt from an interview with Zelensky in which he asked the Ukrainian leader why Kiev refuses any alternative. Kiev refuses. You have nothing, man. Any alternative to NATO membership ahead of possible peace negotiations when he knows such a proposition is outright unacceptable to Moscow. So, and this is what he said. Zelensky responded that should Kiev be prevented from joining the US-led bloc in the near future, then Ukraine will have the right. They will have the right to ask its Western backers, will we be defending us against this evil this whole time? Give us back nuclear weapons, give us missile systems. Partners, help us finance and 1 million army, deploy your troops to the area of our country where we want to stabilize the situation. That is world war. There you go. That's what it is. Next one. Zelensky, if the US is not ready to accept us into NATO, give us nuclear weapons. Right here with this guy. I'm allowed. What's over there is too obvious. Jesus Christ, man, you're looking more and more like a Ukrainian leader over there. Don't you think? Stay there, man. Don't come next to me. Stay in the bazaar. Next one. Zelensky, a maniac, to demand NATO nuclear weapons. Moscow says none other than the Russian Foreign Minister spokeswoman Maria Zakharova. And there she is. Ukrainian leader, again, Ukrainian leader. I'm going to get a stroke here. Statements on obtaining nuclear weapons are cause for serious concern, Maria Zakharova has said in a social media post on Wednesday. She branded Zelensky a quote-unquote maniac gripped by sick delusions who could seek a dirty bomb. I think it is. And this is the same thing that Zelensky Stein said. So what do you think, my friends, regarding this first issue? I mean, if the Russians did not use it and they have it, why do you want to? And they could not prevent NATO's schemes against Russia. What makes you think that the Russians will stop from anything if you would get it? Ukraine will not have it. The first smell from the Russians, like over nuclear weapons in Ukraine, and these guys are going to them up. Really, not a special military operation. They will go to war. That's why the Russians are not calling this a war. They call it a special military operation because they fight with 6% of their capabilities. That's what they do. If they would, that's why I have a problem with the Western media, these baboons, calling this a all war, full-fledged war, all war. It's not all war. It's not total Krieg. It's not totalish or total Krieg. It's not total war. Total war, this guy will pack, boom, that's it. Anybody else? London, you want it? And London, that's exactly how it's going to happen. Yeah, he's a maniac. Yeah, he wants the Europeans to get in a war. But I think he's got his orders not from the United States of America, someone above that. Can you guess who those guys are? Oh, I know. All right. So let's go to the second part of this video, dealing with Zelensky, right? He is the victim here. If this is the only way, the only setup, I'm ready to negotiate with Putin. So he's the victim, and his hand is right behind his back, and he's like, That's what he is, my friends. He's ready, man. He's ready. If you all left him, you're just traitors. And he agrees to discuss with the evil guy. Ukraine's, you see, this is Ukrainska Pravda, man. They call him Ukraine's president, not the Ukrainian president. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Volodymyr Zelensky, because double Y is we used to start a car, has said he is prepared to sit down at the negotiating table with Kremlin's leader, not with the Russian president. No, this is just a leader, Vladimir Putin, if that proves to be the only way to secure peace for the Ukrainian people. This is This is the same thing they used for centuries. Zelensky in an interview with British broadcaster. Okay, that's different than journalist. And the Russians call him journalist. Piers Morgan, quote, if that is the only setup in which we can bring peace to the citizens of Ukraine and not lose people, definitely. We will go for this setup, for the meeting. Ooh, I consider him an enemy. And to be honest, I believe he considers me an enemy as well. My God, he considers you a pest. He considers you a clown. He considers you a tool of other interests. Don't, well, it's the, how is that called? I'm Putin nemesis. You're a baboon. I'm gonna fight Putin. We are in a war. Putin versus Vladimir Zelensky. No, you're just a cockroach down there doing the criminal bidding of others. Not the Americans, people in charge of the Americans. That's what it is. So he's okay. He will do it. Have you heard for what noble cause? To stop more suffering. You did not like anything about the Minsk agreements, international law. That would have brought peace to your people, the Ukrainians. But no, you said, I don't like anything about it. What does it mean? Scrape it and start a war, continue it. All right, my friends? So this crocodile tears, there's Norman Finkelstein said in one of his, I refuse to bow down to these crocodile tears anymore. Yeah, these are crocodile tears. That's what they are. And everything for the good people. Why? Because they, you know who they are, right? What the hell is going on with the nose? They are always a little bit more, how do you call that, noble, more virtuous. Well, no, they have, you know, Hollywood shows us all the time, you know, somewhere always they are a little bit more pious than everybody else, and they have the morality a little bit superior than everybody else. And if you help them, then you get your morality a little bit higher than you have from your little gutter that you live in. This is the message from the Hollywood movies. I'm sick of them. I don't watch them anyway, but here, I watch them just to learn certain things or to compare, contrast. Russia Today, Kremlin comments on talks with quote-unquote illegitimate Zelensky. Russia is open to talk with Kiev despite the Ukrainian leader's lack of legal authority. President spokesman Dmitry Peskov said. The Russians said, you can be in the negotiations, but you would have no authority, legal authority, to sign any document, according to us. And since we are on top of you in a missionary position right now, you can't do shit. But take it. Moscow is ready for talks with Kiev, even though Vladimir Zelensky currently has no legal right to lead Ukraine, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov has said. So, this is what he said. If the only way to set up, bring lose people, definitely I will go and talk to he told the journalist Morgan. All right, asked to comment on Zelensky's remarks on Wednesday, Peskov said there is, and I'm quoting, no place for emotions. Baby doll, you're already, you know what I mean, starts with the letter F. And all right, when it comes to the settlement of the Ukraine conflict, and I'm quoting, what is needed here is legal analysis and absolute pragmatism. That is the reality on the territory, and we are on top of you. And the other guys did not win. Zelensky has significant de jure legitimacy issued with his own country. So he doesn't have, according to Peskov, he's not a legitimate ruler. So what are you talking about? Despite this, I'm quoting, the Russian side remains open to negotiations. Okay, Peskov stressed, arguing that Moscow's successes on the battlefield clearly suggest that Kiev should be the one to demonstrate openness and interest in such negotiations. I would say 100% surrender. In general, such statements are borderline madness. There is a nuclear non-proliferation regime, the spokesman said. There is a nuclear non-proliferation regime. Peskov suggested that EU politicians, despite their flaws, should understand the absurdity and potential dangers of discussing such a topic. And there is the nuclear weapons versus NATO membership, the implications, the consequences. So sober up, grow up, these guys in Europe. Why? One mark of adulthood or maturity should be thinking ahead more than one step. The children don't think, I want that candy, I'm going to go right now and get it. without thinking the consequences in between you and that candy is mommy. And it's, I don't know, 7 o'clock p.m. You don't eat candy at that time. So, but they don't think that way. Or they think, okay, mommy's here, the candy's over there, what do? And I say, mommy, can I have some water? Pack, mom goes, boom, go for the candy. No, that's two-step, right? But that's not the kids. The kids grow older, they become more cunning, and they become adults. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.